Hey, what's up guys, this is Astranox. Brand new reworked Chaos Axe showcase. Is he Axe God 2.0? Let me just tell you straight up, yes he is. So he's scaling based on his max health on all three of his skills. This hero is very powerful. Defense break for 2 turns unless it gets resisted. 100% chance, recovers 20% of his max health when he uses it. Down someone, extra turn for himself. 3 turn cooldown on this thing. It hits pretty hard. 40% defense penetration if he attacks light. Skill 2 immunity for himself, 1 turn AoE attack. And of course, it scales off of his max health. All 3 skills. Soul burn, 2 turn cooldown reduction on his skills for 10 souls, very strong. Provoke 75% chance. If it's light, the target, if it's light element, 100% chance to provoke. Flat health to assist the rest of my team for the imprint. And that is, well, the gear is gonna come after this. This is all the rune enhancements. Let me just show you guys so you actually know what you can expect. And you know, the reworked, yeah, I mean, very powerful hero. I would say that before he was strong, right? Maybe in early mid game, but then he falls off in late game. And that's actually the first Moonlight hero I got on my Europe server, on my account on the Europe server, and he was great. He was great. I built my team's very tanky, bruisery, and I was able to just tank the damage coming my way, and I was able to, you know, decimate the enemy team over time with sustain and layers of protection, right? Defense buff, having, of course, immunity, all these things, you know, able to stay in the battle, and you just start to pick them apart. So his gear is pretty good. He's got quite a bit of health. Portrait of the Saviors to deal extra damage. You know, he's got over 20,000 HP, over 150 speed. He's got some effectiveness to land his debuff, so that's pretty cool right there. So the first team that I'm attacking, I have, you know, Clury, I have Adventure Raz. So these are 3-star heroes, including Chaos Axe. Of course, I have REWORKED of Light in there. Could have brought someone else, to be honest. But I like having her because she's able to tank Dark. I could have had like, you know, Doris instead of her, and I would have my defense buff, and I could replace Adventure Raz with someone else. But Adventure Raz is actually really good with him because the constant immunity is amazing. Of course, like, you can just keep on using his skill 2 Chaos Axe and Soul Burn, so you can keep on getting immunity. And there's actually a chance, I believe it's 50% chance when you use skill 2 to extend the duration of immunity on himself. So that's pretty cool, right? So it could be the one that he got from the skill 2, you know, from it. So it could be, I think you gain like a 2-turn immunity instead of 1 turn. Maybe you already have it from someone else and you're extending durations. That's pretty cool. So, of course, here there's a series removing immunity. They're crippling me, debuffing me. So I'm taking care of that. It's a slow start, but it's going to start to pick up here. And I would say that Chaos Axe versus a light target, of course, beside Tempest Siren, because she cannot be one-shotted, he's working really well. If they don't have multiple layers of protection, Aureus, Barrier, if they don't get that defense buff up or stuff like that, right? That light target, like I will show in other battles, he's able to just one-shot basically. So if you one-shot, if you finish the target with the skill 3, he's gonna get an extra turn, so you can combo into skill 2 or skill 1 if skill 2 is on cooldown. And that's really powerful. So he destroys max health with the skill 2, and that over time, it's pretty solid, right? I would say like it's gonna feel smoother in RTA with the frenzy buff. Like, the battle are gonna be faster, and I want to showcase him in RTA. I want to showcase him in Guild War as well, but I have a lot of showcases lined up. Of course, there's the Maid Chloe buff. I need to showcase that in a different video. There's the Flan buff. I'm gonna showcase that in another video. And there's even Cecilia. I want to showcase her maybe tomorrow or you know, in a few days. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that, guys. But I'll definitely be doing more showcases of Chaos Axe. I really like the reworked version. He's very bulky. He's able to stay in the battlefield. And every time a light hero attacks him, he's actually giving 10% combat units to the whole team. Now that's pretty insane right there. And if you're baiting light heroes into him, let's say you have 1 or 2, let's say you're able to get defense buff like myself here, so you could probably take like a Tempest Siren and another light hero. It could be like a support hero that is like sometime attacking him, right? So that's easy combat units for the rest of your team, and that's reliable, right? So if you're attacking arena offense, if you're attacking Guild War offense, that you can put it to good use. You can bait them into him. But if you're using him in RTA, then that might be a different story. Now, if the enemy is picking a lot of light heroes, especially light heroes which have AoE attack or attacks, then they will attack him, of course, right? They can't avoid that, and that means, well, you can get some free combat units for your whole team. So if he's bulky and the rest of your team is bulky, there's no weak link, right? Then you're gonna be able to just pick them apart, grind them down, and it's gonna be easy. And he definitely provides the damage, as you can see. You know, he's got part of his kit, the defense break already, but by having Clarion here, I'm able to, well, she provides sustain a decent amount throughout the battle. She's got the reliable defense break, provoke, and the strip before that, and it's not an attack, so versus evasion-based heroes or even versus fire hero, you don't have to worry. That stuff, well, unless you get 15% resist to kick in, but you can always soul burn if you're if you can't take those things, right? If you're like, man, I hate that 15%, right? Save your souls, soul burn that thing. So Adventure Raz, great combo, man. I love having the defense buff on my whole team. It just makes me so tanky, it's ridiculous. Now the skill 3 has the 40% defense penetration from one of the rune, right? So from his specialty chain, so that's pretty solid right there. It definitely pushes damage to another level versus light, and if they are already squishy, it's going to be an easy way to just one-shot them. But if they have multiple layers of protection and you want to guarantee that extra turn from the killing with the skill number 3, then I recommend that you soften up the target, right? So there's going to be, of course, other warrior artifacts that you could wear on him. You don't have to wear Portrait of the Savior, especially like if you're grinding them down over time. There's definitely a lot of warrior artifacts that you could be using for Chaos Sect. So in this team, you know, this is a damage-oriented setup. I mean, they are very tanky, bruisery, right? Like, they just can't take me down, basically. Like, this team is super tanky. I don't even have defense buff. And, you know, they're just throwing everything at, like, Last Rider Crow for the most part. My immunity is still on the Fallen Cecilia. But Chaos Sect is here as a hero that just cannot be targeted so easily, right? Like, if, let's say, you're fighting a team with Faithless Lytica, you're already getting combat shootiness to the whole team 10%. And if they're trying to get his skill on cooldown, let's say they remove his immunity, and then she use skill 3 on him, that's 20% combat shootiness for himself and the rest of the team. So, like, they have to worry. It's going to be in the back of their mind, right? Like, should I attack him or not? But sometimes they don't have a choice. Like, a Last Rider Crow will just straight up AoE the whole team, right? So he will hit Chaos Sect, and he's got that 20% max health sustain on the skill number 3. So all that stuff, like, definitely adds up. And I feel like that attack that builds up his passive, look, like, the damage is pretty crazy when they don't have Aureus, defense buff, barrier. Like, it's quite a bit of damage. He's definitely chunking them when they don't have those layers of protection. Very easy if you stay alive to just pick them apart. Very, very easy. And the fact that he's able to provoke heroes, so it takes the attention off of the rest of your team, so he's sort of like protecting some of your maybe weaker heroes, or maybe a hero that gets low health. Maybe your Ruel of Light, they're not leaving her alone in RTA. You land that provoke, that's pretty solid right here. And you build his attack buff passive, right? He's got a passive that boosts his attack, and all his kills, his damage is based on his max health, but as well as his attack, so it helps him deal more damage. So I wanted to show this battle because it's easy, but I wanted to show the damage versus squishy heroes. So you saw here 7,000 damage. Of course, he would hit harder versus light. He did not have attack buff, which would scale with his attack scaling passive. So that's pretty cool. I don't know exactly his multipliers, but just make sure that you're able to finish the target with the skill number 3, so you're able to get that extra turn. If you're trying to, like, do some burst damage, right, like you're trying to do a combo to take them out before they're able to bring the sustain again. Maybe you're in RTA, the frenzy built up, and that skill 3 into skill 2 is going to be really devastating, and you're going to be able to maybe take out you know, 2 targets or more because of that. If you're waiting at the right time, and his attack buffing passive would have, of course, built. So he got combat units for the whole team here when ML Armintha did the AoE versus my team. And here, I mean, I have Rowana for the sustain and CR push because Seaside's constantly doing her extra attack AoE. And I got DG Bazaar for the immunity, the healing. Look at that, greater attack buff. It doesn't matter, man. We got our layers of protection. We got defense buff. We got Aureus maxed out on ARAS. No problem. Immunity, so we don't have to worry about the decreased hit chance debuff from, Vildred, which is super annoying. Armintha with the stun burn. The provoke from Fallen CC. And of course, Seaside, so annoying with the defense break. The random defense break. The target debuff. Unable to buff, debuff, unhealable. Immunity comes in super handy, but even if DG Bazaar wasn't there, I still have Adventure Ras, which would pair with Chaos Axe if there is no one with higher attack. You have to remember, like, maybe Adventure Ras is calling someone else than Chaos Axe throughout the battle, but then maybe Chaos Axe takes over when his attack passive builds up, right? So I'd like to showcase him in RTA later on, right, in a separate video, with him having attack buff and trying different team compositions. Sometimes you don't have to bring sustain. You can just bring those layers of protection, right? You already have, like, ARAS brings the defense buff. He has strip. He's calling with the skill 2. He can soul burn that constantly with the potential defense break and to the the big attack of whoever he's calling. Super effective with the immunity on himself and that target. And the sustain on his skill 3, helping himself when he's wearing the Aureus. Always nice. Just an amazing hero. Only 3-star too. So ARAS with Chaos Axe, definitely a very powerful and deadly combo. Clary works, but you don't really need her. As you saw, like in the battle results, she did provide quite a bit of sustain in the previous battle. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool when you're shifting the enemy's attention onto Chaos Axe. And you can just land that provoke on light because it's 100% chance. So they're going to be attacking him, giving your whole team combat readiness. And, throughout the battle, this is going to definitely add up. And if they're not able to do their burst damage because you are provoking heroes here and there because of skill 1, that's pretty nice. So you can force a provoke with ARAS, like a dual attack is going to work as well. You could just have him on a counter set. Like, I have him on speed set, and his base speed is low, right? So you could definitely have him like on a counter immunity set. I definitely recommend that you do have an immunity set. In my case, I didn't. I went with hit because the stat line that I wanted, I was able to hit the stats that I wanted with these specific pieces, and no one was using those pieces. So you can see, like, the damage is pretty respectable, and the destruction of maximum health because of his skill 2 definitely helps over time. So the longer the battle, the better it's gonna be. And with the Frenzy and RTA, you're dealing more damage. They have less maximum health, plus you're destroying their maximum health. So the battles are going to be shorter and shorter. So you can definitely bring him in there, not only versus squishy teams. You can bring him versus bruisers and very tanky teams. And he's definitely going to be helping quite a bit, especially if they have one light hero or more. He will definitely assist greatly. And that 40% defense penetration, of course, versus a high effect resistance hero like a REWORKED of Light, he will be doing respectable damage, and it's going to be reliable, right? With the Frenzy building up, himself plus another hero could do sort of like a combo. If they're close in combat readiness, you could just like murder REWORKED of Light pretty easily as the Frenzy builds up. So that's pretty cool. Maybe her skill 3 and 2 are on cooldown. They don't have soul to soul burn the skill 1 for the big heal with the REWORKED, and you could easily take her out at that point. Or, I mean, any other light hero, really. Here are the stats of the other heroes that I brought along with him. Let us know what you guys think about Chaos Axe, the reworked Chaos Axe. Do you feel like he is better than what he used to be? I feel like he's definitely better now. He can be used more effectively, especially in late game. I feel like we will definitely see more of him, especially in heavier light teams. So yeah, I can't wait to try him out in Guild War and RTA. But really, like, let us know what you guys think about my boy Chaos Axe in the comment section. If you're looking for an emulator to play Apex 7 or other mobile games, the one that I use personally is in the link in the description of the video. But that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.